I was without a light, so the darkness it freaked me out, and I thought there were bears around me all the time. So I'm saying "Ayo," I mean like all the time.
Hi, friends. Welcome back to Shut Up, Tell Me More. You guys, I have a new favorite reality TV show. If you are not watching Fox's biggest new reality TV show called Extracted, you are missing out. Think Hunger Games meets Survivor meets elements of Big Brother. It is such a good show, and you can watch with your whole family, so that's great. Extracted features 12 untrained competitors, everyday people attempting to survive extremely grueling conditions in the Canadian wilderness. Meanwhile, some miles away, their family members are locked down at a secluded headquarters, watching them navigate their dangerous surroundings alone via a 24/7 feed. The fate of each contestant in the wilderness lies in the hands of their family members back in HQ. Each family member has the power to decide whether their loved one has what it takes to brave the elements and fight to be the last one standing, or whether the family will push the extract button and remove their loved one and their whole family from the competition. The families in HQ will also compete against each other to win much needed supplies for their competitor. Imagine your family member in the middle of the wilderness and you have to compete just to get them a tiny piece of raw steak or they don't survive. This is what the families in HQ are facing. The last player standing will earn $250,000. So it's a very big prize. My guest today is Meagan Delatte, a wellness coach and fitness trainer who competes alongside her father, Gerard Delatte, and good friend, Abby Hayes. Meagan survived days only eating berries and mushroom and braving the freezing cold Canadian wilderness. She has also faced some super close calls with some brown bears, and she made it to the finale, and I'm so excited to chat with her and find out how she did it, because could never be me. And now, my interview with Extracted's Meagan Delatte. Meagan, hi! Congratulations on being on Extracted. Tell me about your reality TV journey.
Yeah. So thank you, number one. And number two, it all started a few years ago with my dad. We do a lot of adventure racing, and we got casted for a show called Race to Survive New Zealand. And we were alternates, but we got to fly to New Zealand for about 2 weeks. It was incredible. Same casting director reached out to me like last June, and she was like, "Hey, are y'all up for an adventure?" And I said, "Oh God, okay, let me ask my dad." She goes, "It's one catch, you need a third teammate." So it was a journey finding our number three, but we chose Abby, and it was fun. So that's kind of been our journey so far, and hoping for more down the road.
I love that. How did Abby become the choice?
Okay, so we asked my sister, which is Abby's age. She had just started a new job in St. Petersburg, so we couldn't take that away from her. Then we asked mom, but she's gonna work until she's probably dead on the floor. She couldn't leave work. And then we asked my husband, which we had just gotten married, just bought a house, and he's like, "Megan, I can't. Like, y'all have to find someone else." So then my dad started reaching out to some of his family. No one could do it. And then it's like Abby came to mind, and just with her lifestyle, she's like, "Yeah, man, whatever. It's an adventure. I'm up for anything." So it was easy. She came with us.
Wait, is it true that Abby lives the van life?
She does. Yep.
So she currently lives in her van.
Yeah, so she just finished she was like ski patrol medic out there in Park City, and she actually just got into med school.
Oh my gosh, go Abby. That's amazing.
So now she'll be a doctor like years from now.
You guys only like to do hard things. This is
Yeah.
incredible. So being in the wilderness like you were, I first started watching the show and I was like, I could probably survive half a day. And by the finale, I'm like, yeah, no, I would survive 15 minutes. I cannot imagine what makes you want to do this and live out in the wilderness with so many question marks and who knows what can happen.
Okay, so When I tell you, we went into this blind, and when we were told, okay, you're going to be doing adventurous stuff, you'll be living out in the wild, it'll be fun. That was what came to my mind. And when they dropped us off in the helicopter and they were like, go to your camp, I mean, like, after that moment, I'm like, oh, wow, what did we sign up for? But I knew I had to just get through the first 24 hours. And after that, my team was going to help me. None of us knew, I mean, not a single person knew what was going to happen because it's season one of a new show.
Yeah.
And it's just being so blind to the whole thing. I mean, the entire experience, that was probably the most challenging.
I
So,
cannot fathom that. Okay, wait. So did your dad and Abby know that they were going to be in headquarters? Like, did they have any idea where they were going?
so they were told you're going to be taken care of. You're going to have all the food. You're going to have a bougie time. And I mean, they were in base camp, call it base camp. But I mean, dad just watched me for 24 hours straight. I mean, they did all the trial. I mean, you saw it, but it was intense. I mean, you're living in this small, like, base camp per se with like 11 other teams.
Yeah.
You can only imagine.
No,
Like,
and I couldn't survive base camp. Like I was like looking at the bunkers. I'm like, could not be me. Also, like I don't know if they had central showers. I was like, I'm like, where do they bathe? What is this?
I think they had to like go outside and bathe. I don't dad was like, "Well, at least we got showers." I didn't shower for weeks.
Okay,
So,
wait. So that is one of the biggest things. Whenever I watch any of these survivalist shows, I'm like, how the basic hygiene just goes out the window. First of all, I was very confused. How long were you out there?
okay, we were the four of us. So the finale was filmed in one day,
Okay.
and the four of us lasted 19 days.
That's insane. Okay, wait. So is that 19 days, no shower? What about brushing your teeth?
So I brushed my teeth. I called them little Christmas trees, but it was just like the ending of like you break it off of a branch, and I called them Christmas trees. So
How did you figure out even to use that?
because it was pointy, and I'm like, okay, maybe I can like floss my teeth this way.
Oh my God.
Um, but my teeth, like, I mean, I guess I was looking and nothing was in them.
No,
So
you
my
looked so pretty. Like you would never know. I mean, for what it's worth, you looked beautiful throughout the entire competition. And I cannot only imagine what I would have looked like by the end of that. That is nuts. What about like changing your underwear? Like you got to do
Okay,
that.
this has been okay. So if you were in the show, everyone that is listening right now, they production had to send me a little note
Yeah.
because I was the one that would change accidentally in front of the cameras. And I was cold. I didn't want to get wet. I was so tired. We were getting weaker and weaker each day. So I'm like, it's going to take this amount of energy to like even take 20 steps. And it was raining almost the whole time. So in my mind, I'm like, I'm just going to change in my little hut that I call home. So yeah, changing was a very interesting subject.
Okay. And the question on everyone's mind, how do you go to the bathroom?
Okay, I'll tell you. Well, if you need number one, you have to go to the bathroom away from your campsite. So
Okay.
that was no issues, right? If you have to go number two, which we all did except one of
Oh my God.
us.
I would have been. Do you remember from American Pie, there was a character Shipwreck? I would have been Shipwreck. Like, I would have been like, nope, there's nothing coming out. There's so little going in. So it's not like a huge deal.
Oh no, after I ate the deer meat, I mean, when I tell you it was in and out, I mean, for days I would just go. But it was a bag. So they gave us a bag, and I used like two trees, and I took a squat and I opened the bag, and there it is.
Like, who would have ever thought that like your extreme quad strength would come in handy during that? So I would have fallen. I would have fallen in. It would have been a nightmare. Another
Yeah.
thing I've always wondered: what happens if you get your period?
Okay, that's a really good question because us women,
Yes.
you have to think about that when you're on the show. I'll tell you what happens. So, some of us had our monthly cycles, And it was not fun. I mean, think about it. You have to clean yourself. What you do is you cut your blanket and you'll go down to the lake. Pretty much you use that, right? And you just re-clean it, or you'll have to cut certain parts of your blanket, and that is your pad,
And then
right?
you're also freezing, like getting colder and colder. That's insane. You guys deserve extra points or like an extra crate drop or something for that. Like,
Yeah, and like when you see me, because I throw up, right? So
yes.
that was kind of my timeline.
Okay. That was, by the way, the longest throw up sequence I have ever seen on TV. Were you like, this is still happening? Like, what is going
I got up because I did not feel good. Got up and I had my phone camera thing, and we're
Yeah.
going for our supply drop. And I'm like, it's happening. It's about to happen. And I get through the bushes, I push him away, and I film the whole thing. I mean, it was like projectile for a solid 45 seconds.
Stop. I cannot imagine. And you are so knowledgeable about health and wellness. You're a wellness coach. Like, how it was that a hindrance to you because you know exactly what's going on in your body when you are depleted of nutrients and I mean, past
Yeah.
macros, you know everything. So, how was that?
Yeah, so I knew the second that it happened, I didn't freak out. I knew what I had to do. So, of course, all the camera people want to like come around me, and I'm like, y'all need to back off. There's nothing happening today. I got in fetal position. I took like a 3 hour nap, and I boiled water, not yet. I didn't eat just yet. But I got the apples and peanut butter. So when you need nutrients, I mean, the apples came in handy. That was my carbs. And then the peanut butter was my protein. And like, because of the sugar, because of that supply drop, I mean, it saved me.
But that
So
was like late into the game. I mean, what day was that?
I think that was like day 17, 18. Yeah.
Oh my God, I cannot fathom. All right, we have to talk about the mushrooms because
Okay.
you
Yeah.
and the mushrooms is just like hilarious to me. Okay, so I heard that you were given a guidebook of like what's kind of going to be out there, right?
Yeah.
In this wilderness that you're set into. And you knew like three types of mushrooms. Did you ever get high out there?
I think I was. And you don't see me drinking tea, but I drank tea every morning, and then I ate mushrooms every single day. So the tea that I was making, it was like a set of blueberry leaves, and then a set of these like laxative leaves that I had found, and then like clover leaves that I thought. And I'm like, as I was drinking, and I felt really nice and really good after I would drink the tea. And then what they don't show is the first few days, I actually eat the mushrooms raw, and like
Oh,
it's disgusting. And then I finally cracked one open, and I'm like, oh shit, there's worms. Like there's worms in these mushrooms. And then Dad and Abby got me a note that said, Megan, you have got to cook these mushrooms, or you will get sick. And so after that, I started cooking the mushrooms, and I like made mushroom broth. But I was set on food, and you don't see that, but I was not starving.
that's
So
amazing.
yeah.
So you knew what you were doing out there. At least it looked like that. How much time between when you find out that you've been casted to when you're actually dropped in the wilderness is there? And did you prep at all during that time?
When I tell you, okay, so before we came, I was in the best shape of my life. I know a lot of people gained weight, but I was ripped going in. I mean, I was lifting insane amount of weights. I was running, sprinting. I mean, I was training for what maybe special forces would be.
Right, right, yeah.
And people thought I was insane, but it worked out because I was really strong going in, and I stayed strong throughout.
Like, what do you do with your brain during that time?
Yeah, so with my line of work, I have to wake up really early, so I actually got some rest. I slept till like 7 a.m., and then actually like made myself breakfast, so I felt a little normal. And I think I probably did yoga, worked out for about 3 hours, like in the morning, and then I cooked myself lunch, and then I journaled for probably 2 to 3 hours every day.
You are mentally strong. Do you think this is more of a mental game or a physical game if you had to pick one?
Yep, mental. It's all mental. I mean, you can be in the best shape of your life and in the worst shape of your life, but if you don't have the mental capacity to push through what you feel is impossible, you're not going to make it.
how do you do that though? Like, what do you think about to keep yourself going?
Okay, so I mean, I honestly, you got to look at your life experiences. I mean, I'm in my 30s and I've been through a lot so far. And I think the best thing that I've gone through was near death, pretty much. I mean, that ski accident that I went through, and then my four knee surgeries, and just having family support me. And, that's kind of how I was led to my husband. And so just going through the physical pain of all that, and then also the mental capacity to learn how to rewalk, to learn how to like relearn your body, and then learn the people around you a little bit more. It definitely helped my game because I had already been in that weak spot mentally and physically. So I'm like, you know what? If I got through this, I can literally do anything. So I think your life experiences have a lot to say in playing this game.
All right, we
Also.
got to talk about the ski accident. When was that and what happened?
Okay, so it was almost, oh my gosh, is it almost 4 or 5 years ago? It was actually in Park City, Utah. I was skiing on a double black, and I collided into this girl, or I was trying not to collide into her, and I lost control of my skis. One ski stayed on. I tumbled down the mountain, and my whole entire right leg just snapped. I mean, just snapped. I thought, so I woke up in the hospital, thought, I mean, I couldn't feel my legs. So they thought, Megan's never going to be able to walk again. And then I suddenly caught feeling in my like little toes. And then it was just all about my leg and getting me into surgery and fixing what was broken and trying to fix all the tears that had happened in my knee. But that was just the start of it, and then I soon then went back to Chicago, tried to keep teaching and keep doing my fitness journey experience, I guess. And four knee surgeries later, it was a long recovery and a lot of PT, a lot of help, and I had to relearn how to walk again. And I ran a marathon, I think, a year ago, and they said I would never run again. So I don't know. I'm just trying to prove the world that this girl has what it takes to. If you tell me I can't do something, I'm going to prove you wrong.
I think you've proven it. Like you have this crazy amount of resilience. Where does that come from?
Man, I think it comes, I mean, it's got to come from somewhere. I'm trying to think of where, but I can relate it to my dad, I guess. I mean, I think his whole life, and I don't want to speak on him, but his whole life, feel like he's had to prove himself somehow. And it's like, Dad, you're like the best dad. And then he goes to get his doctorate, and then he's going to teach again. And then he's going to do all these adventure races and pull me along. And it's just, he doesn't stop, and he's not going to stop. And I think maybe that's where it comes from.
He's amazing. And he was like such a G in HQ. Like the way that he handled conflict, you could see everyone respected him so much. Looking back at the choices that your dad and Abby made, do you think they did a good job? And is there anything that you wish they had done differently?
Looking at it on TV, because I don't know what happened actually, that was all there, and you only kind of see like 1% of everything.
Yeah.
But looking at what they did from a viewer standpoint, I think my dad, his whole time was poker face. He didn't want anyone else to know what was going on. He didn't want me to say too much to try and, I mean, we had a game plan, me and my dad, we did. And our game plan was, all right, Megan, you cannot show everyone that you are a badass. Like, you've got to play low. And we did.
How do you
And
have that foresight though? Like just from watching, because I know that I heard that he tried to get on Survivor, like what, for 20 years or something crazy. Like I think that they should take him. But
oh, me too.
is it just from like watching all the reality TV shows?
Yeah, I mean, I think so. And bringing it to Survivor, I mean, he knows how to play that game, and if you cast him for Survivor, like, he will kick ass. But so just I think him knowing how to play the game, that definitely helped. And Abby's just such a sweetheart and an angel, and she literally loves everyone she looks at. So I think just with her love for people and humans and her connection, and then my dad's focus just on me, I think that's what did it.
Oh my gosh. And your dad was so sweet. He kept saying, like, she's my baby girl, which was that playing into the part of like, don't make her look too strong?
No, I mean, I think, I don't know. And I can say the same thing about him. Like, if he was out there, I mean, I would just be like, God, my dad, but also my dad would be a badass out there. Like, he knows what he's doing out in the wild, unlike me. So I think it'd be a little different, but that was not gameplay. I think that truly was him just giving in to me. I don't know.
It's unreal. I cannot imagine 19 days of this. What was the scariest thing that happened out there?
Oh my gosh. They don't show this much, but every single night. So I was the only one without light for I think it was 9 or 10 days. Dad has like cliff notes on everything. But I was without light for 9 or 10 days, and it got dark at 7 o'clock.
Wait, so everyone else had like a physical light? Oh, was that from one of
Either,
the supply
right,
drops?
right, either a
Okay.
flashlight or they had discovered a light on the watch and I didn't discover it yet. So
Right.
I, I was without a light. So the darkness just, it freaked me out. And I thought there were bears around me all the time. So I'm saying, Ayo, I mean, like all the time. So I think the darkness was the scariest. When it was the trial times, that's when I like perked up. I was so excited to do the
We're
trials.
just like, people, I might see people. Let's go.
Yeah. And I just wanted to just give everyone a hug. I mean, you see that. I'm like cheering on everyone and I'm like the coach comes out in me and I don't know, it was just that was so exciting. But yeah, the most scariest was probably the first night and then the nights that I did not have a light.
I would have never slept. What about the bears? Like, you were the one that had the bears in your camp. And like, I loved your dad coming out and they're like, it's Megan's camp. And he walks out in HQ and he's just like staring up there. I mean, obviously, they won't let you get mauled, but like, it's not really comforting. And what was it like for you laying in your little hut thing and like all of a sudden hearing things move?
Oh no, I mean that was not just one time. That was every single night. I'm like hearing stuff right near me and I mean like you can hear a pin drop, right? So it's if things were loud, I'm like, okay, there's obviously wildlife around me and I thought there were bears all the time. So I was prepared. I had my like horn ready.
Okay, so you do have a horn. That's good. I mean, I wouldn't. Have you ever even camped? Like, I would have no idea what to do.
No, I have never camped like that ever, ever in my entire life.
And then to do it for 19 days. Like, that is crazy. When
Yeah.
you finally get your phone back and you turn it on, did you
Oh.
miss like life events? Like, I can only imagine what you saw.
So I missed a lot actually. I missed my cousin's wedding, and I knew that going into it, and I was in her wedding, and she had just had a baby. So I missed a few life events, but the most important event, I mean, you got to remember, I had just gotten married.
Hmm.
So I missed the first like month and a half of what a marriage should be. And I miss like us renovating the house. So I miss a whole lot. But when I turned that phone on, I was not excited. Like I freaked out a little bit. I mean, we had FaceTimed Foster, my husband, and then we had FaceTimed my mom and sister, but that's it. And it's like I wanted to turn it back off. I did
Yeah.
not want to come back to reality.
That makes perfect sense. I feel like you truly went back to like a primitive time. Like, that
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
crazy. So, do you have any regrets though, like missing that stuff?
You know, when I tell you, so I adapt really well, right? So I started adapting to this new lifestyle outside and coming out of that back to reality. It's it took me about 2 months to get back to normal, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like I felt like I was smothered being inside. I felt like I had to go sleep on the dirt. I felt like I had to forage my own food. I felt guilty going to get food. And you just your sensory overload and it's just you missed being out in the woods. Like I'll be completely honest, I missed it. So I kind of mourned that for a little
Yeah.
while.
Do you feel that way now? Or are you like, no, I'm good inside. Thank you so much.
We're good.
You're
We're
like,
good inside.
you're like, air conditioning is a beautiful thing. I'm sure. And you got to go home to like a newly renovated house. Like, that's kind of nice. I love it. I'm like, you're good. You're good on this side. That's what I can only imagine that. What was the first thing that you ate when you got out?
Oh, y'all are gonna kill me because I was in this vegetarian. So I actually ate a burger.
Good girl. Good
Yeah.
girl. Now,
Yeah.
okay, what does that do to your stomach when you introduce meat
Oh,
back in?
it was awful.
What are you like? At least I don't have to shit in a bag. So, like, this works out great. Okay, so you're back to being a vegetarian now?
I mean, I'll say this. I'm not. I eat like I now crave deer meat, which is absolutely insane.
That is
Yeah.
insane. Okay, for those listening, they had a challenge where they had to eat this raw deer situation and it was bad. It was I cannot I would have opted out. I would have been like, it's fine, I'll die here. Like just leave
No,
me.
I mean, like, I was the third to the deer, and then Jake came along and was like, Megan, you're doing this once in a lifetime. You have to just try the meat. And so I listened to him and I cooked it, and I'm like, you know what? If this is gonna help me further into the competition, I'm gonna absolutely do it. So, and then after the fact, I got home and I didn't want salads. I didn't want vegetables or fruit. I wanted deer and beef jerky and like trail mix and the things that we had in the wild.
Do you
That's
think it's changed you as a person?
absolutely.
In what ways?
It's made me more aware, just like more aware, not in like, oh, human awareness. No, just more aware about like life and just the connections between people and just how important it is to cherish that time because to be honest with you like you don't know how long we have and it's eventually I mean I say it on the last episode like I want kids I can't wait to be a mom and when that time is my time then I think it's gonna help me be a good mom. I don't know.
Yeah, that makes total sense. I'm a mom. I get it. I just feel like it makes you're so resilient and you've proved that to yourself time and time again. Like, this was the ultimate test of like human character and will to survive. And I would have failed that test so badly. And you passed with flying colors. Like, it really is nuts. If let's say they redid the show, you had to team up with someone who was on it and survive with them, who would you partner with?
Okay, well, it's obvious. I made like at the deer, I made a pact with Jake.
Yeah, good
And
choice.
yeah, and like the brothers and Abby, I mean, we all talk every day. We're the best of friends, and I have so much respect for them. I would no doubt do this with them.
Yeah, yeah.
No doubt do this with them. So the brothers, I mean,
I love
it's from
that.
the beginning. And I wanted it to be, I knew Jake was the strongest. And I'm like, this finale, I want to go against the strongest competitor because I know I can beat it.
Did your mom and your husband know what was going on while it was happening? Like, no, they had no idea.
They had no idea. And I think, as we were living our adventure, they were also going through their own reality adventure. And I got back and both mom and Foster, I mean, they went through some stuff. Like my mom's never been alone before. And their house is just, there's a lot of land and she didn't know I don't know. And dad's always there for her. Right. So that was the whole thing. And then Foster with this new house, his career, I mean, just so much was going on and like with his family stuff. So there's just a lot happened and there was a lot of catching up that we had to do, but we slowly got back into it.
It's kind of
So
like you were in a coma almost. Like, it's like you woke up, you're like, oh, life, hello.
that's a way to put it. That's a really
Right?
good way to look at it. Yeah.
Also, I feel like with your mom being alone, you're like, okay, take away your phone, your TV, and any access to other people and tell me how you feel.
Yeah. It's
Looking back at it all, who do you think had the hardest time? The people in HQ or the survivor list?
Oh my God, that's a really tough question. I mean, so here's the deal. The survivalists did not know a single thing of what was going on at HQ, nor did we have any idea of what was going on with the other survivalists. So this was a true self journey. And I took that and I flew with it. I think the people at HQ, it was a lot more challenging. I mean, you have to hurt people, you're going to have to help people, but if you help those people, you're going to help them get further along in the competition. So it's like, who are you rooting for? You have to stand by your wits and your family, and you have to really just look out for that person. And I think all the families in HQ were just so nice. And maybe that was why it played out certain ways. But I think, and I've gotten to know each family and each person really well. They're all absolutely incredible human beings. But I don't know. I think the people in HQ had it worse. I hate to say that.
Yeah, you did see a change in like some people as you're watching it. I almost wonder if you had like a bunch of housewives in there, like how that would go down, because they're so much better at like just screwing people over and being like, and what? So I feel like that would be, they should think about that. Fox for season
Yeah.
2.
Fox season 2, you need more cutthroat families.
Yes, like get some people from the challenge on, something like that. But they were such a nice crew, and they were so relatable. So it was very nice to watch. But I can only imagine you must feel like you could go through anything at this point.
I really do. And it's like, anything that comes my way, I'm not going to say no anymore. And I've done that a few times, but I'm like, whatever. Yes, let's do this.
Good girl. I love it. Okay, so I love the way that you ended the show. You said this is the start of something. So what is it the start of? What's up next for you?
Oh man, when I said that, like my journey, that's not how I wanted my journey to end. So I was cut short. And I think because of that, whatever is going to happen next for me, I have no idea, but I know that this is the start of something. And I'm hoping this can help me with whatever's next. Whether that's, another show down the road, challenge, Survivor, Amazing Race. I mean, any of those would be super fun. Or even something more crazy in the wild. I don't know.
Oh my gosh.
Or starting a family. That could be an adventure, you
Trust
know?
me, it is. You want to talk about real survivalists? Talk about seat regressions with 3-year-old kids. Okay, that's what I'm going through right now. I literally was thinking of you yesterday. I'm like, Megan might have slept out in the wilderness, but I'm sitting here in a chair watching a child sleep and praying that he stays sleeping. So who has it tougher?
I know, and I don't know that. Like I can't relate to that yet. And so if that's what's next for me, then I'm excited to take on the challenge. I don't know.
Sure, you will kick ass at anything. Okay, so I have a game that I play on every episode. I open up a jar of questions, and it's just random things, hopes and dreams, love questions, different things. You have the
Okay.
right to pass on one question and plead the fifth, but after that, you have to answer the second one. Are you down to
Okay.
play?
Let's go.
Okay, great. And I reserve the right to pass on a question if it's boring. So,
Okay.
even though I'm the one that wrote them, so they shouldn't be boring, but some of them are. Okay, let's see. This is a good one. Name your most embarrassing moment.
In life.
Yes.
Oh God. So there's been times where my spelling has been questionable. So I would say my spelling when I'm writing things. I don't know.
Is it that bad? I mean, you vomited on national TV, but like, you're like, it's the spelling. It's the silent P that gets me every time.
That or the most embarrassing. Oh, okay. I was on stage because I used to dance.
Yes.
And when I tell you deer in a headlight, I forgot my entire routine and I was on stage by myself. I ran off stage and they cut off the music and I like that was it.
Oh my God.
So
How old were you?
I think I was like 12.
Okay, yeah, but I'm
So I
sure it
was
taught
young.
you a lesson in there somewhere of like, you get back out there next time and it's okay.
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. Well, Megan, thank you so much for being here. Where can people find you on social media so they can follow up to find out what that next thing is?
Yeah, so you can look at my name, Megan Elizabeth. The A in Elizabeth is a 4. So Megan Eliz for Bith.
Maybe this is why spelling is not your favorite thing.
I know, no, it's cute. It's my middle name. And yeah, I mean, I try to go live. I'm gonna do like a Q&A after. But yeah, follow my journey on whatever is next, and we'll see.
I love it. And we will also post your handles in the description. And thank you so much for being there. If you guys haven't watched Extracted, you have to watch it. And my favorite part is you can watch it with your kids. Like it's a very nice show, but still very engaging and full of drama. So it is 10 out of 10. Highly recommend. And Meagan, you are a star. So thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. And thank you all for listening. I'll see you in the next one. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Shut Up, Tell Me More. You can find us on Instagram at Shut Up, Tell Me More. Remember to subscribe to the podcast. If you listen on Apple Podcasts, go to the show page and click the follow plus sign. If you listen on Spotify, click the follow button. You can also find us on YouTube. You'll automatically receive new episodes as they come out, as well as updates. Doing this also helps me algorithm land, so thanks in advance. Lastly, give me a 5-star review, and I'll be so grateful. See you in the next one.